Hello, hello, and welcome to Atom with Lucas. So today we're going to be talking about G-Ocean Tower Fan. This is not just a normal, simple tower fan. It actually has multiple different features, including the ability to oscillate, and it has the ability to cool. Yes, people, this has ice packs that you put in it with little crystals inside that actually pull the heat from the water, making it cooler than room temperature. So supposedly, it has the ability to be a slight air conditioner. Who knows? We won't know until we get to the end of this video. So in this video, we're going to be doing a quick unboxing. Then I'm going to give my first impressions on said tower fan. After that, I'm going to be putting this bad boy to the Atom Lucas test to figure out, is this something you should buy or maybe skip altogether? I'm here for you, so you don't have to waste your time buying and returning. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. Right, let's get inside this box and see what we got going on in here. It's a very, very large box. Oh, you gonna help Daddy? Good job, girl. All right. Okay, so it looks like you get 2 water tanks or something. There's something's inside of here. Okay, that's interesting. My kid is wanting that so bad. Then you have the user manual right here with a little tiny remote, and then there's the stand that goes on this giant fan. This fan is massive. Okay, so it looks like there are Phillips head screws right here. I'm going to use my drill, unscrew all of these, and then it looks like you just basically put this mounting feet on the bottom, screw it right back in. Okay, so that's what it looks like when you put all the screws into those holes. Those holes are a little bit deep, so make sure you have a drill or a screwdriver that's deep enough to go into those holes. Very, very solid. It looks like there's a drain plug at the bottom for the water. I'm really happy with the way this went on. All right, so once you get the bottom fully mounted on, you notice that this base is very, very solid. It is not weak at all. There's no wobble. This base is super, super solid. And then let's go ahead and walk up this thing. This is where you put your water in, and you can see the max fill line right there. It's a little bit annoying that you fill it from the back over here, and yet this is the max fill line here. So you kind of have to have eyes on both sides. And there's a minimum down there as well. There's a nice silver accent right here, which is kind of cool. Walk up here, you have more of the silver accent going up, and this is where you have your blades inside of here that spin around. It's not the biggest amount of air flow right here for how big this unit actually is, but let's just keep going. Here is their logo right here, the G-Ocean. I actually really like that a lot. And then you are shown the temperature of the room right here, and this is a display that I believe stays on 24/7. I've yet to see it turn off, so that's very interesting. Definitely take note of that. And then when you get to the top, this is all of your different controls, and they have this really nice accent circle around each button, which is kind of cool. These are, of course, capacitive touch buttons. Okay, so there is a light button right here. We'll go ahead and hit that, and there you go. You can see a blue light appear on there. And then here is what, well, you could just see there, it shows it's on speed number 1. So these buttons are definitely really, really responsive. I like that a lot. This top part is made out of some kind of cheap plastic, and you can already see it starting to look a little bit strange right here. And I'm not quite sure why they didn't go with a premium material on the top where you're going to be doing most of your looking and touching. The light right here runs all the way around the back right there. And then once you get around to the back, you have a nice handle right here, which I found to be really cool. You can pick up the fan pretty easily. And then this is where you have some form of filter. I'm not exactly sure what this filter is. I, of course, will be unscrewing it and taking it off. But the fact they have a screw on there is interesting. That means they don't want you to just pop this off willy-nilly. And it's very, very large. That is a very large filter right there. And then you get down to the bottom, and you have your water tank fill right there. So that's very interesting. Okay, so first impressions, this thing is made out of, I would say, decent material. It's definitely not premium by any means whatsoever. The fan has a certain sound to it. It's like a little clanking sound that you can definitely hear. When I put it on swing, which I'm not quite sure why it's swing and not oscillate, you can actually hear a crinkling sound, which might be something loose in here, so I may actually like tip this over and bang it a little bit. There's definitely a creaking sound. You can hear it more when I put it on speed 2. It's like a little popping plastic sound, so that's really annoying. Another thing is this thing is massive. It is not a small fan, so definitely take note of that for sure if you're buying this for a small room and you don't have a lot of space. Another thing that's weird is it keeps going back and forth between the temperature and the fan speed, which is really strange because you would think that you would just want it to stay on temperature all the time. I don't know why it thinks it needs to switch around. That is quite funny. Sometimes I'll look at it and I'll go, I need to know the temperature, and it's actually the speed of the fan, so it's quite annoying for that. But the gust of wind that comes out of here on first use is very, very nice. Okay, so these are the cooling packs that came with the G Ocean. I actually filled it up with water, and they had some kind of crystals inside. When I would shake it, you would hear some crystals, and it definitely wanted to make you very aware that you're not supposed to eat this. So I found that to be very interesting. Also, when you close this, or when you tighten this down, it doesn't actually like seal. So if this does thaw out, my thought is that it's going to drip out of here because it's not a liquid tight seal. But these are the packs. This is how it's going to cool. Supposedly the crystals inside of here will absorb the heat from the water, making it cooler than room temperature. So that is the theory. Okay, let's go ahead and add some water to this tank. So it looks like you just basically pinch on either side of here and this thing pops off very, very easily. I have some filtered water right here that I'm just gonna pour directly in there. Like I said earlier, I won't know how full it is until I actually look at the front of this thing. Okay, one thing I just noticed is there's 2 pipes in here, and that one is very similar to a fish tank pump right there, or a fountain pump. So that looks like something that's gonna pump all the way up. All right, here we go. We got our second bowl full of water. Okay, there we go. Now we're making a dent. So the second bowl went over the minimum, getting close to the halfway point. All right, there we go. The third bowl almost put us to the max. I'm gonna leave it there, so when I put the ice packs in, I don't want it to overflow. So everything I've read and come to understand is that you literally just drop the ice pack into the tank right here, and it does its job just like that, and just like that. So that's what I believe is what you're supposed to do. So let's go ahead and close this back up. I just checked the front and we are over the max fill line. So that's really, really interesting that this is the max fill line for water, but in reality, you're gonna wanna put the water there if you're gonna be putting the ice packs in. So go below the max fill line and you should be good to go. All right, here we go with the maiden voyage. We are 72 degrees in this portion of my house. I have my thermostat set to 71. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the cool button right here. Okay, there we go. We just got a new icon, and I can hear the water coming up this way. Oh, this is interesting. Wow, I can hear. You could completely hear the water flowing up to the top. That is weird. Okay, I'm pretty sure I just figured out what is going on. I believe those water hoses are running up through here and going back down into there, which means the water is not going to come out of here. It's not going to humidify the air. It's actually using the water and the stuff in the bottom to create a cold airflow. So this is actually colder right now than the room temperature. It feels way colder than 72 degrees. Wow, that is very interesting. So this is actually more like an air conditioning unit than it is a mister that blows out liquid that cools the air that way. Wow, that is interesting. I'm starting to understand why it's called G-Ocean. I'm going to turn the mic to the rear and see if we can't capture this. So what I'm hearing is the sound of water flowing up and around and back down, and it actually sounds kind of cool. Now, if you're someone who's annoyed by the sound of water and it makes you feel like you have to go pee, then definitely take note of that, because that's what this thing is doing right now when it's on the cooling mode. All right, let's talk about all the different touch features on the top here. So of course you have your power on, you have your light right here. Push the light button, it goes on. It does not have any options, so it's just a blue light right here, and that's all you get. And then you have your timer right here, and you can go through all the different I found that the timer was exactly accurate. I set it for 30 minutes. It shut off in 30 minutes. Big thumbs up for that. Then let's go over to the modes. So breeze mode, I believe that's what it's called. And it basically just goes from almost no fan to high fan and then back down again. It just keeps moving all over the place. And then you have sleep mode. So basically you have regular mode, you have breeze or forest mode, whichever one you want to call it, where it goes full blast and then it slowly goes down to a slower speed and then back up again, trying to create some weird wind effect in your room. I find it to be a little bit annoying and it doesn't really work. And then sleep mode, so if you hit the cool button, then it turns on the cooling system, runs the water all the way up through it and begins the cooling process, which is quite loud. And then of course you have your speed setting, basically just 3 different speeds. And then you have your swing or oscillate. That is what I call oscillate. And this one oscillates or swings. We'll just watch it go right now. So all in all, I was very impressed with this whole touch panel on the top. Everything is super responsive. You're definitely going to have trouble at night because this does not light up. So at nighttime, you're going to have to just learn where all the buttons are. And I don't know if you will, so you're going to probably have to bring a light with you if it's dark and you're trying to turn the speed up or turn it on to oscillate or something, change your mode, turn the cooling off. So that's definitely something to take note of. I wish that this would light up around each one of these buttons. That would have been really cool. Okay, I'm gonna take that screw out right there with my drill and see exactly what is going on the inside to figure out, am I correct on it just being a tube of water that runs up and around and back down, or is it actually soaking this filter right here? Let's find that out. It looks like the top is clipped in here. I almost just broke that. Let me turn the flashlight on. I almost just broke that clip right there. Wow. Okay, so you have to pinch on either side to release the filter on the top. And then it looks like it just slides out from the bottom. So pinch at the top, pull it out. Okay, that is very interesting. The hose is right here and it looks like there's some condensation liquid right there that is built up. So I'm not quite sure if there's actually liquid that's being dispersed in here, allowing for a little bit of humidity to come out of this fan. So that is interesting. I did look on their description, and they did say it will humidify the room. So I'm guessing somehow a little bit of liquid is getting to the fan blades, which you can see right here, blowing out into the room. So definitely take note of that. Let's take a closer look at the filter itself. So this is basically just a dust filter. You can see the holes in there are huge, so it's not gonna stop small dust. So this is mainly designed for larger dust. So the combination of these two combined potentially will make a really good filter, but it's not a HEPA filter, and you're not going to really purify out any air. It's just to stop any large particles from getting in here, because I think this thing is doing something with liquid where it's flowing out. Okay, so I just turned the fan on. I do not recommend this without, knowing what you're doing. Don't try this at home, kind of thing. If your kids are around, don't do this, because their fingers will go in there for sure and get lobbed off. But I just want to turn on the cooling feature. Okay, there you go. We're learning right now. Liquid is flowing out the top. All right. Okay, so there you go. That is exactly what is happening. Very, very interesting. Wow, it is literally like a waterfall going down. I am so impressed. So that filter is going to get a little bit wet, I would imagine, up here. And you're also going to have to understand that if you have hard water, you're going to have to run some kind of cleaner through here, like a CLR or a hard water cleaner, because that is going to get clogged up really, really badly over time. And there it comes out the bottom. This is actually really cool. You're getting a waterfall sound. Now my mind is completely changed on the sound of this. It's actually really, really cool. Another thing is, you do not want to move this around when it's running, so definitely take note of that for sure. And there you go, it's coming down the bottom. So there's two hoses in here. There's one that sends the water up, and then there's one that deals with the water coming back down. Very, very interesting. Yeah, there you go. You can see it over there flowing down. Wow, this is very interesting. All right, so now we just learned so much more about this. Okay, so I've been using this thing for long enough that I think I have a full comprehensive review, and let's start off with the build quality. So the build quality is not bad, it's just not premium by any means. You're not going to get premium material. This plastic is definitely the type of plastic. It will show scuff marks, and the top has already gotten a little bit funky in the short amount of time that I've used it. So definitely take note of that. This is not going to be purchased for a premium material fan, but it definitely looks good with the silver accent going around it down here as well. It's definitely very sturdy, so that's something to take note of. This thing is very sturdy, and it's also quite heavy, and once you put water into the bottom tank, it gets a lot heavier. It is surprisingly heavy. Another thing is that this thing is massive. This thing is very, very large, so just understand that this thing is not going to stand as tall as normal tower fans. It's probably going to be, I would say, a foot taller than most out there. Definitely understand that if you're buying this for a tower fan, you should probably skip this and go with something else, because this thing is designed for the cooling feature, and that is the main part of this. When you turn that cooling feature on, it actually does cool the room. It dropped it from 72 down to 69 while I ran it for about 30 minutes. I was totally surprised, and it just kept producing cool air. The only thing that is really annoying with this particular one is down here there's a crinkling sound and a plastic cracking sound when this thing is oscillating, and then when it's actually running on the fan, it's also a little bit noisy. And then of course when you turn the cooling feature on, it sounds like a swimming pool pump or a fish tank, or even like a fountain. If you have a fountain on, it's similar to that. So you're going to have to understand that this thing is not going to be necessarily designed for the picky sleeper who wants a simple fan sound and wants to have all the display go completely black and turn off. This display will never turn off. It stays on 24/7, and then when you start to add in the light feature and everything, it can just become a very bright source in your potentially dark room. So definitely take note of that. The sleep mode on here, when you put it into sleep mode, I found that it basically just tries to quiet the fan, mimicking the forest mode or breeze mode, where it goes from loud to quiet. And I also think that could be a little bit annoying and keep you awake. So all in all, I'm going to give this thing a solid 4.6 star rating. I'm going to say if you buy it for a cooling tower fan, big thumbs up. You're going to love it. It's a good product. Buy it. All right, there you go. That's the G-Ocean Tower Fan. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, definitely clickety-clack that like button. If you want to join the Adam Lucas family and you want to be a part of this crew, hit that subscribe button. Every time I get a subscriber, I get a boost to make more and more videos, and it's because of you guys I surpassed 4K. Yes, people, on my way to 5K, but I need your help. Yes, you right there. Tell your friends, tell your family, this guy's on YouTube. They should go subscribe and watch my channel. But as always, I thank you for watching each and every one of my videos, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.